Just going to do a quick reading here for the channel. As usual, just take what resonates. Discard anything. Don't force it. Don't discard anything that doesn't resonate or you. It's always good to seek confirmations. Your guides, spirit will make it clear. Okay, so here we go. Kind of open-ended here. Let's see what we got. We have new territory. So we're entering into some new territory here. Unfamiliar, not just new, but also unfamiliar. So enabling success through learning here. So there might be something that you're needing to learn. Okay, maybe something that's going to be opened up to you. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, so you or your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. Maybe that's the new territory for you. Maybe you're not used to being this, having this type of relationship or going through this dynamic. Let's see, let's clarify that. So I'm actually getting a timing card here. So patience. So this could be either something that's going to require patience. The timing indicated here is months, and that could be like maybe how long this is. You might have the mindset or be ready to endure that kind of time frame, or maybe the learning takes that long here. But it's talking here about like good things coming to those who wait. So I'm gonna grab a different one from over here real quick here. I think it's going to be needed. So let's get some clarity on this one here. So enabling success is through learning, but there's distance and waiting. Yeah, it's just like the trifecta of like challenges, right? But like good things come to wait. So it's like sometimes the bigger the challenge, more the climb, the bigger the payoff. Especially if you're being stretched and grown, that's usually what it takes to get reward. God's a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. So you got the strength card here. I like the stack that. So I'm drawn to this infinity tattoo on our arm too here. I think that there might be just I feel like you're kind of in this like endless cycle of loops, maybe you feel like the manifestation right around the corner, and then there's like something happening, you reset again, or every day, in particular, I think in this collective, there's been some kind of non-linear time thing where it's like we're almost there, then we're not, and we're kind of jumping around, and we're passing tests, and it's kind of dealing with one of the really important lessons with manifestation. Do not stumble over the time delay. I could like in CIS come up with like a rules, numbered set of rules of manifestation, and high up maybe in top 10 would be that. That's a lot of people. The time delay. But that's like it's, biblical. Jacob and Esau, time delay. Esau had that issue. Joseph had that issue. There's just. That can be something that like people, I thought it would look like this. We're detaching from outcome, okay, right? We're letting go of that. We're laying hold of what was ahead, that for which, we've been laid hold of. What has pursued us? We're pursuing for that goal we've been given, that mission. But it's kind of a pouty spirit. And as one who's been there, I can say it's like, well, I thought it was going to look like this, and it doesn't, so I'm mad. And so, it's like emotionally manipulating spirit, like, it's like, I give up, I'm going back, I'm starting, I'm starting over. This is, I'm doing something else instead. Peter, when he denies Christ, betrays Christ, and then, Jesus comes after him, and there's like, Peter goes back to fishes again. And that's like a first century Jewish culture thing or whatever. I mean, he was like doing really amazing stuff, like even from the community's perspective, not even knowing who Christ was. And they're like, so to go back to fishing was to like, just like take his ball and go home, like just really go back to start over and just abandon everything. And and Jesus just like has to come to him and be like, bro, it is not that serious. Like, go feed my lambs, go do the work we're called to do. You're not disqualified, right? And so I think that's a lot of your ops in this collective. That is like when something really had to like combat a lot is those are just like waiting for that one move. You make it strong, and then they'd be like disqualified. If you were this, you wouldn't do that because you're perfect. But or we talked about last time, setting up those circumstances by which every wrong, they create scenarios by which they'll overreact to anything you do to prey on your fear and to prey on your fear of missing it or of stumbling or of being disqualified. And but like literally like the way they set it up is like no matter what you did, it was going to be the wrong thing. And we don't even need to tell them that. It's just like don't give them that amount, the emotional payoff that they're trying to get. Right, the energy they want to harvest is your reaction. Never give them that. Always just realize it's the illusion. All this pain is an illusion. All this all of the humiliation rituals are trying to put you through. Little tests and stuff like that. Just pass them. Like you want to get them bad. You want to get them back. Best vengeance is just passing the test and saying detached and just saying, yeah, I see what you're trying to do there. How can I respond with love and kindness and humility, and while setting boundaries and there's that assertiveness. Like you let them roll you over so many times. The word gets out, more people are doing it. It's not a good thing. There's a place to stand up for yourself and not let them bully you eat your lunch. But you can do it with why is the servant harmless as that? You can do it with a spirit of kindness. You don't have to be petty. You really don't have to be petty. And actually, some people they're being petty about something like that, like dunking on you, putting you down to put themselves up. It's all this defensiveness and stuff they need to look at their shadow for. And like, it's not even again, it's like, we're just trying to be emotionally vulnerable and be good people and just like show up and be authentic. And it's just like it's awakening stuff in them or whatever, and that they're putting little tests on us or just sometimes they're just giving us different versions of our own energy back. Let's be honest, but still, through all of these tests and through all these things, it's just like there's not a need to be necessarily petty about it back in return either. It's a matter of just we turn the other cheek and we just keep it moving and we don't get pulled down into a low vibrational energy, because that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're trying to bait you with some of this stuff, and in the strength, in these cycles, these things, like maybe it keeps coming back up because we're not really passing it, or maybe it's something that we're just like that's the big part of our message and the lesson we're meant to learn. I mean, in this time is to these little sneaky ways that we're still getting our own vengeance. We're still not doing the shadow work. We're still manipulating. We're still responding in defensive manipulation, justifying it. And so that purity of heart, instead of that just like pragmatic, we can justify it. We're the best lawyers, right? In this collective, we can, but we know, and you can't fake out spirit. Like it's, this is a real big chance to up level and just get it right, I think, here. So this emotionally distance, for those of you that was your that resonated with you, I think that's part of like ending this cycle, and kind of like is just having patience with yourself, like doing that reflection, kind of working through that, and getting to a sincere place of heart, and that making things right, but like it takes a little bit of calculation. You kind of have to ask spirit, well, what's justice here? What are the good judgments? What are your judgments? Because we do it and we're kind of biased, and so we need an open perspective, and maybe bounce stuff off a mentor or guide or something. But we're looking to stay kind of detached from outcome, and we're working for the greater good of all. And sometimes that is, again, setting boundaries, and that is working out things so people can take advantage of you, or giving people less access, that kind of thing. You might need to actually like banish people from your energy if they're in there, like using it to bind you against your own manifestation, right? More on that in future videos, or send me a message and I can give you a link. This one is specifically I pulled, I think, for the person that is physically distant. We just covered the emotionally distant, and it just might be that there's a little bit of gold digging happening. For those of you that are really, and here's the thing: is like you're like, I don't even have a lot. Like, I mean, I where's the gold or whatever? Like, this is comfortable, but I'm manifesting something completely different. Here's the thing: is like they probably got into the Akashic records, or they went to readers. Some of these people, like some people might like to like. You didn't even know what you were like destined for until you had copycats that were like trying to manifest what they see in your future before you even get to do it yet, right? And like, this person could have very well done that, and that's how you got awakened. Like, oh wait, I'm supposed to do all that, and like you're trying to do it instead of me, you know? It's Jacob and Esau. He tries to copycat him and steal his inheritance. You know, it is what it is. Like it's and just be like, all that you ask is just like, hey, when I win, just like one thing I don't like is welching on the bed or flipping over the table because you didn't like the you got outdrew or whatever. It's just like fair is fair. And they won't, and they will flip too. But it is it is what it is. Next one, gambling, right? So they were literally. I just flipping. I had a picturing a poker table and this kind of thing because that's how the analogy is typically used. Is that's the spirit of like, in the Wild West, right? Like or whatever. They'd be playing poker, and if you outdrew them, and then with the cards, whatever, you have four aces over, quads over a side or something, and they would just shoot you or just flip the table or whatever it is. So confirmation, the gambling there. Let's get a bit more from Soul Whispers here on the gold digger situation for those of you that resonated with that. And we've got difficult road. I just feel like if you choose to stay with this person, I'm assuming there's some kind of contract or commitment. And again, I don't want to encourage anyone to stay in even a marriage that's necessarily not confirmed to be like a divine one of the Lord. I mean, there's things for children, even things like that aside. I mean, God joined together, let no man tear asunder. But like, you want to come to God as joined it together. If it's a gold digger thing, you're being emotionally neglected. You're actually, potentially not even walking out what your life's purpose was because you're being used. But again, file that away under. I mean, you got to consult like probably a therapist, and this is not legal advice, it's not life advice, not career advice. I would never tell somebody that. I'm opening up that possibility in case you haven't considered it, and in case it's resonating in that big of a way. But again, this is a big one to see confirmation on. Don't just make it a decision off of just something I'm saying when it's that magnitude. You want to know that from multiple confirmed sources, aligned according to your own spiritual guidance, right? I'm just saying, for those of you this resonates, here's a possible confirmation that this could be a difficult road, and maybe it's worth it at the end. It's kind of like there's a spirit of perseverance, being prepared for great things. If you're walking a hard path in life, maybe there is something great on the other end of it too. So, just know what you're getting into. That's kind of the idea here. So, I'm going to turn that heater off because that is a sound to turn here. All right. Well, what are you trying to manifest, right? Career success, or just success in general, whatever it looks like for you, and there's just been so many important keys, I think, that it's kind of like, even the kind of gold digger too, I don't even want, if you want to just make that necessarily a person, for those of you that didn't resonate that way, in a sense, it's more about, there's like this perspective of like, you want your life to be fully aligned. That's part of the manifestation, is that your diligence, your heart, mind, and soul are all of one accord and purpose. It's not your soul has to follow the spirit. Your mind has to follow your soul. You have to have this interconnection, right? And that is doing some shadow work. It's like unblocking your chakras, and that's cutting off a lot of I recommend just going down the list of just past partners like that, just like banishing people from your energy. You just don't know who is like suddenly. There's been such a resurgence this year of through Facebook and stuff like that, of like love spells, especially obsession spells. Like you could be with somebody and it's just because like they've done enough spell work on you to get you bound and trapped in, like, I don't want to put any fear on anybody, but like there's a spirit of manipulation, and it's almost like it's not quite like mind control, but on some high levels it can almost feel that way or something like that. And there could be, but it's in like, you have to cooperate with it a little bit. There's justifications, there's tacit contracts and things like you're yielding parts of yourself. You can only give part. It only thrives, right, when it's, you know, you're giving energy to it or whatever. But at the same time, it's a bigger force than I think that it's easy to like dismiss it, right? And you won't necessarily know it's happening. You just know that you're not doing something. You're taking a lot of actions that are not for your highest good, and these are compromises that aren't knit to a spirit of love and cooperation, and that where two people are coming together for like mutual benefit, but it's kind of like the other person not even fulfilling their end of that whatever agreement or compromise is, and you're just yielding your power away. And kind of there's like deception and confusion, and the goalposts keep shifting is a great example, that kind of thing. And so what we're kind of dealing with this kind of gold digger spirit in a sense is, right, it's not just saying, oh, this person's a gold digger and it's like, you know, get out of it. We're talking more about just like a method of like developing your intuition and looking for things, and then maybe doing a little bit of like, you know, I'm into like, you know, prayers that are kind of prophetic decrees that are essentially just taking your power back, you know, according to scripture. You know, it's just like how Elijah, you know, kicked out the spirit of Jezebel. It's not, people say this spell work or something like that. It's like, this is literally what Jesus did in the, you know, in the, when he was tempted by the devil, right? In the wilderness, you know, it is written, that kind of thing, you know, but like using, you know, it doesn't, you don't get the word precisely right, but you're just banishing things out of your energy. You're cutting soul, you know, soul ties and cords like that. Deliverance ministry and intercession ministry. These are like parts of the charismatics world, which if you're a church, if you were into that, you know, didn't associate with that, you may not be as aware, but it is kind of a thing. So yeah, shoot me email if you need any help on that. I probably have a blog post at Pages of Brandon or two, my website, pagesofbrandon.com. That would get you there. But we're talking about this career success, or the success that we're trying to manifest here, and there is, yeah, the higher the calling, the greater manifestation. A lot of time, the greater the odds, greater the pursuit of people against your call and your destiny and your, yeah, the life that you're trying to build there. And you're trying to build it with a partner that is, you know, equally yoked on all fronts, right? That is, you know, with you, mind, body, and soul, right? Someone that you want to grow old with, someone that you are going to, and that's the thing, right? Because like, if you have any kind of a growth mindset, you're in the manifestation in the first place, you're into growth probably. And that in and of itself requires this mentality of just like being committed to growth. And what happens so many times is that one person not grows the other because one person plateaus or decides like, I'm good here, or they were manipulating and, you know, they wanted the bag the whole time, and then they get to the divorce and all of these things. And so that's where just like having a bit of intuition and knowing people's motivations and understanding is really in it to win it, but in to win it for mutual good, right? There's that give and take. You know, there's a lot of people that will just overgive on the front end, and then eventually, 6 months, 2 years later, oh, now it's the terms and conditions you didn't know applied, that kind of thing. So it's, you know, these partnerships, right? You really got to have that intuition and knowledge and know who truly wants to build with you. It can be a lonely, difficult road without that. So that was for somebody. But you know, we're talking about these, you know, avoiding karmic bonds in a sense, right? And it might just be that like Adjustment Bureau movie, like there's just like these whole agents that are just trying to keep you and this other person from being together. And so then like you end up like having to do this in like another lifetime, or you know, whatever it is, like. And sometimes your manifestation is even knit to this right person, and it's like everyone knows, like once these two get together, then, you know, it's going to blow up. But like, you know, maybe the other person's in the south node, maybe they, you know, they got, you know, demonic attachments or some kind of like, you know, witchcraft relationship or whatever. The timing thing, it can just make this whole thing a Romeo and Juliet situation, unfortunately. Let's see, but let's focus on some smaller solutions here. I'm going to pull up my patented algorithm here, which I will be selling here soon. You still need intuition to go through it, but it does bring in into my formula that I kind of developed with spirit here. So we've got Nine of Cups. And again, we're getting clarity and solutions on just like this whole picture here. We've got Justice, all in the upright. Except not that one. Two of Swords. And for a card of completion, Two of Cups in the reverse. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is just show you how this works a little bit. All of these previous cards are going to be synthesized into like one energy and scenario. And then cross-reference against a lot of terminology and concepts that I've developed with Spirit. We have the Nine of Cups. The Justice is really interesting here. I feel like it's justice for you to get this manifestation. You know, and again, I mean, this is all knit to like being high vibrational, right? And that's what this book is all about, right? We're rooting out anger and lust and unrighteous anger and lust and drunkenness, right? We're committing to sobriety, and we're avoiding movies that would serve lust or pornography, or the romance novels, which are like the feminine version of pornography. We're trying to get these, to be this clean conduit. The pure in heart will see God. This clean conduit for spirits to move through, and to not just get that bag, so that we can then be in like more like of the same wrong spirits, right? Which is like overindulgence, covetousness, which is like the massive shopping sprees or whatever. That's all the weeds in our heart. What it's like hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, right? It's because James 4:2, you want to spend the bag on just like the prodigal son, Luke 15, the loose living, the stuff that like you just like, it's excessive, it's ego based, right? Wealth. And a lot of people think like, and some of us might be having this like ego death or have been gone through that, but we're still fighting the ego and you don't understand why it's not going away. A lot of times it's because you had the ego death, but you didn't die to praise of man or praise of people. And so, and you may like have another way of phrasing that or thinking of that, right? But it's essentially, that's like, the praise of man, and that comes from the Psalms or something. I think it's like that spirit that wants to, how do I say this? Like, it's not just people pleasing, right? But it's like the appearances. It's having the wealth and the things because of it's the spirit of social media, right? In a sense, it is having like this, like you want the attention, the worship. You want to be, and we could put spiritual language on that. We're saying, oh no, I'm just trying to attract, and I'm not chase, and so I'm creating something that you're creating an illusion or an appearance of something that's worth attracting, with the purpose of getting people to overspend on you or overqualify themselves to get this. Switch the power dynamic in a way that benefits you and gives you the upper hand, which in itself is a spirit of insecurity, that you can't have something that's like equitable, which given the patriarchy, I'm not even blaming you for this or whatever. I'm just saying that like spirit like wants to be that out of your heart and put you in a situation with people that aren't even going to put you like in a patriarchal bind. So I'm not even trying to go, I could unpack that more, but that's like a whole book. But in a sense, this is divine order, and the patriarchy has made that like really hard to like even want. And yet it's what Spirit wants to bless, and if nothing, Spirit can bless other things that aren't that. But the more that we head into the age that we're in and the circumstances that we're in, the more that we may find that that's that kind of thing. I know that's not what we want to hear, but it's kind of an unpopular message or whatever, but we're we're going to find a way where that both Cain and Abel, and both Elijah, in some cases Jezebel given time to repent. There's these partnerships, there's things where your fallen twin is in the lower energy, and they're actually going to, in this timeline, turn it all around and get the help they need, which is probably some recovery services and things like that, Coda, rehab, whatever it looks like. But again, Third Planet, Modest Mouse, yeah, talks about like they're only art. It's fucking people over. That's what a twin flame in the South Node often feels like. You're like, oh man, I don't want a twin flame, or I've heard so many bad stories, whatever it is. And it's like, yeah, they haven't ascended yet. A lot of times they manipulate soulmates. That's part of the whole thing. It's like a narcissist wants to find somebody that will keep signing up to get fucked over, right? Boundaryless. That's the thing. And so, especially with the Akashic stuff or whatever, like all the stuff I'm saying, they'll probably come at you saying that stuff because it's like, all right, well, this is where I fucked up in the last life, and I know that they want to hear this, So I will present myself saying that shit on the front end, And that's almost even like, red flag too. You gotta be intuitive, and you gotta see what's really going on, because there's so many. I mean, if your life is anything like mine and the other people in the collective I've seen, like there are so many illusions. Every day is a new illusion you got to see through. But what spirit is coming with this manifestation is the ability to see who's your friend and bring in your true soul tribe and your chosen family. Okay, whatever that looks like for you. So when we got this Nine of Cups, where this is your big dream hustle here, you're going for, you're manifesting wealth and joy, but it's not about the quick wins. This foundation needs authenticity, or you end up with shallow victories. So you have to be real with yourself about what you want, what you're willing to sacrifice to get there. I mean, it's not just what you deserve; it is what you desire. Don't think of it like, well, I'm really only worth this, whatever. Like, dream big, think big, whatever it is. But it's like, have a vision, not just for the wealth, but what you're going to do with the wealth. We'll say, well, yeah, legacy wealth, and that just means like, I want to be like a spoiled rich person that's a taker, part of the problem, and my children also, and then their children's children. And will all this be like ruin the environment, and like it's just like hoard and we'll pretend to ignore the cries of our communities, and to pretend like human traffic is not a thing, or whatever it is, or I'll have a pet cause that I'll put on my pages so that people will donate to me and they'll accept me, and they'll want to choose me. Like, you got to look at your motivations and then break them down, and then break them down again. Like, you got to get to such I'm just saying, like, you don't want to be in deception, right? Every day ask your spirit, like, Holy Spirit, what is it, Psalm 1:3-50, whatever. It's like, search me and know me, Lord, and reveal to me if there's any offending way, right? That's like, all right, I'm tired of like ignoring my blind spots. I'm tired of just I think of like how my daughter like cleaned something, like, all right, allowance please. It's clean. I just like it is part of this like authenticity to your core, and so that you're layered, and so you're and that does take a lot of shadow work and work of the spirit, and just that kind of just like, and good like people, good counselors, maybe a good channel or a good reader that like does or is trained in shadow work, and it can help you see your blind spots. But like I love it when they like say it to me in a way that's like they're telling me how great I am, and like if I would just get this one thing out of the way or whatever, versus like really over focusing on it and almost like condemnation spirit, or just like and it's like they can go after your enemies with that condemnation too, which is like, unless they're like reprobate or like out to the devil or like something like, it's not always great. But like sometimes you need to hear that so you can stand up for yourself. So I'm not totally against it, but we're high vibing in this collective, and we're looking at ourselves. What does David say? Your gentleness has made me great. The spirit is going to be gentle. You've got readers, you've got your spirit team, your spirit guides in there. They're so encouraging because they know that like you can't take much more, right? But they're also like, so here, it was, there's a little tweezers. I was like, I get this little thing out of here and this like here, and pure motivation, and so really being honest about, well, why do you want this, and it's just like, well, I'm tired of struggling, and start there. That's true. We're tired of struggling. We're all tired of struggling, right? And I want, I do care about my community. And then some of you are like, no, I care about my community. I'm out here, like, we're doing this thing. We did the tribe, and I'm trying to like blah 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 blah. I'm just saying, yeah, and that is, I'm speaking to myself too. Like, that is what this looks like too. This is kind of like, okay, hands to the pavement. This is like really, and there could be one cause that's like serious about you, for you, and personally, and it is amazing, and your heart. Okay, I'm not just going. I went over here to talk to the one. If you're doing that, like, I've been doing good. Like, I'm not saying you're not. Don't take it as it resonates. Hold. Fast forward, or just like retain this message so you can give it to someone else, and know how to address it when spirit brings it up through you, for you to be the conduit. But that's what this thing is. It's just like, it's the authenticity. But I'm saying, like, there's a place for manifesting striving wealth, but it is submitted to a lot of times just like, it's incremental. It's these ideas that come from spirit. It's whatever it is, these foundations, these whatever, it's, we want to be less capitalistic and more functional. We want to have a relationship with spirit that's what does Jesus say? Search up treasures in heaven that moth and rust cannot destroy. Don't want to alarm you, but that's going to become really important. Like, I believe, take it, let it be confirmed. Grain of salt. Maybe you're already on this page, but I don't know if like what hour we're in, related to Matthew 24 and all that. But like, there comes a time where, there's even a parable where this dude's like, he's going to retire and everything's going to be great and it's chill. And it's like, actually, that your soul is required of you. And you kind of miss the memo of like, knowing what hour you're in. And I know you're like, no man can know the day or the hour. Actually, doesn't say that. It doesn't say can know. It says present tense. No one knew then. It doesn't say when it is the hour, no one will know. Because Matthew 25 directly. And that doesn't mean go be a date setter. But I'm just saying you will know the generation. Hopefully ahead of time. If you're in this collective, probably a little bit ahead of time. Anyway, so what I'm talking about is a zero karmic debt. That is like Elijah being fed by the ravens, or Moses calling down manna from heaven. You can manifest stuff at will. Like, you don't need to have millions in the bank, especially when you're talking about banks that are like stealing from people. And like, you want to get, when money and Bitcoin and all these things, and the markets are crazy and the inflation's crazy and whatever else, you want to have something that like nothing, it can't be taken from you, knit to a purpose that has been given to you. Like, and it could be the one that God's put on your heart, and then one remember that. It could be that one plus two other ones. It could be a whole, this whole different thing. Maybe you've got 7 different things, and you do need just like massive, like, whatever it is, all this infrastructure and land and property. Hey, property is a lot. That's something that's harder to like be affected by inflation, things like that. Puts a target on your head, but whatever it is, like maybe you do need some serious spending. That's not just excess because you're so awesome, as much as it is like your kingdom purposes, or you're manifesting to build this empire that's going to stand in the age to come. That I'm preaching here, and I didn't mean to, but like I hit that note, and then there it was, about 9 of cups. So be real with yourself about what you want and what you're willing to sacrifice, okay? And I'm not even saying that like if you don't do this, your manifestation is not going to come through. I'm not even putting that limits on you. Your manifestation is like, your world and your vision. I'm just saying a little bit of wisdom from this collective about how we feel about the hour we're in, and also that's something a little bit more Christocentric, or like kingdom, what have you, that like, take it. Maybe it resonates, and maybe this is what's for you, and maybe that doesn't apply. But we got this justice here, okay? And this is like what goes around comes around. And I think like part of your like ability to manifest too is probably knit to like a low karmic level. Maybe your chosen one, people have been taking your stuff, and you've been living in a dungeon like Joseph, and now it is time to like, it's not just about personal comfort, but it is sort of like, I have a heart for righteousness and for the kingdom, and for like, the ending of human trafficking, or whatever. I'm saying my thing. Like, whatever it is, like, you have this heart. It's just like to see people for pure, or like what you went through. You went on. It's simple as that. What I've gone through, no one else has to go through it again. I'm gonna, whatever it is. But that justice is just like, these, right now, a lot of karmic contracts are breaking apart. There's a lot of, illusions, or just completely, it's like, what was I thinking? Decisions that you are making now can like either release you or keep you bound. So it is, not to speak any negative stuff, or you must like take it seriously. Like think about it, pray about it, and like don't just do the impulsive thing and don't do the easy thing unless it is the right thing. If that makes sense. So just fairness, transparency. Just because you got the bag doesn't mean that then now all of the integrity and all of the, now I'm going to go just like win my karma because I got the money or whatever it is that I get. Sure, celebrate. Don't make the celebration a lifestyle, right? That's how our ball and twins got. That's why they're not here. So, yeah, own your choices. You might have, and there is a place too of like maybe there's some amends that you need to make. Like there's like you release everybody, got about your energy, but like, what's the perfect circle? Song, not to tug your halo down around your neck and tug you to the ground, but I'm more than just a little curious about how you're going about trying to make amends to everybody you left for dead. And it's just like, oh, boy. So, yeah, you want the people out of your energy and to stop, like, using your energy to, bind you from achieving your stuff. Sure, and maybe that, maybe they go around. Maybe there's like the smear campaign is like dollar part or whatever, and now like you've got supporters or whatever. They still probably want to manifest them to off your energy a little bit. But where can you make things right? Where can you apologize? Where you can just like clear the air. Probably weren't always perfect, and so zero out some karmic debt, like make things right. And even if they don't make things right on their end necessarily, don't do it for them. Don't take on their karma, but like, it can go a long way. And just not having to learn lessons again and to really have that stamp of approval from your ancestors. That's like, I'm not telling anybody to go back to a toxic ex or abusive family member or those kind of things. Set some boundaries and, I'm not saying to throw out wisdom on that kind of stuff. I'm just saying don't use that stuff to justify not making amends where maybe it's needed. Because this justice card is hitting and is resonating here. So you want to keep your hands clean while you balance the scales, okay? Well, the scales are balanced. Maybe you've got somebody helping you. Spirit's working on your behalf. A lot of this stuff too is like you find all this stuff out, and then you're like, okay, hey, the spirit's handling it. Your angels are actually working on this one. You don't even want to call down judgment. You're not the angel of death, whatever it is. Okay, sorry, I can go so hard on this so long. Two of Swords. And this was the reverse. This was the block breaker card. And this is hard truths. You don't got to sugarcoat it. So who's not sugarcoating? So once you, Coda, Taylor Swift kind of quotes it in Karma, that song. I keep my side of the street clean, right? That's from Codependent Recovery, which I think, everybody accused her of narcissism, covert narcissism, whatever it is. And that's her saying, like, actually I'm more of an empath. And that's like the narcissist that I wrote all these songs about if you looked at the lyrics. But I don't know. If you're right, painting yourself as a victim is also can be considered that. But she's so mastered my next level that I don't even think that's even necessarily what she's saying there either. But so we're not, the justice card is not for Taylor saying that she'd win anyway. So the point is, though, that there is this thing about keeping your side of the street clean, where it's just like, your karma. When she's saying that karma is your boyfriend, she's saying that like there's a nepotism here that is allowed, which is like it's really smart because that's really ironic, right? Because like, how could karma? That would be bad karma for karma because it would be unjust, She's like, but it's like, it seemed what happens is you've paid your dues so hard and the universe owes you so much karmic debt, you've called it in, and the scales are being balanced, right? And this manifestation is like, actually, you've made these amends. You got the justice. You cleared your side of the street, right? And maybe these people, this smear campaign or this stuff that happened to you, you can use that not to just get them to like apologize and make you whatever, confirm the stuff that I think I know with my intuition. I think you did it. What? Let spirit like have the victory and do that. Like it's going to be pay off so much better when they have to be maybe they won't. Who cares? But they'll get the next life, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It does. I mean, like work through that, and know that and validate your child and those concerns and that hurt. But I'm just saying, the vengeance of the Lord, you're alone, and you don't want to like not block your own blessing because you're dunking on somebody or whatever. But you can use the conversation as a way of like that was intense, or these things, the circumstances are really intense. Like, did I? Was there something I did that like I need to own that like put this in this like weird place? And then even your own transparency and vulnerability and willing to like own up of like your part of the black is like we all have a part to play, and whatever it is, And I'm not. There's so many business situations that I'm not talking about that like I know you're saying, but they did, Okay, yeah, all right, I give you exemption, I mean, like that's between you and like I would say therapist because and I'm saying that like therapist, a good therapist solves everything. Like, that's I'm not saying anything about it. I've had 3 at one point. I'm saying like it's like you don't want to hesitate, you don't want to block, and you want to just clear anything you can clear, and then that might be the precedent for them to make something right. In this case, would be just like somebody who like has been hindering me that stops, whether that's just been like, spell work or just cursing your name of the thing, or just like keep a smear campaigns going or whatever it is. Just like, and I'm just speaking more about the people that are like you're in contact with, or they're in your family, or they're whatever it is, friends, that kind of thing. Like just keep your side of the street clean. It is, I think, almost always the right where possible, and like email me or put in the comments the exemption. In fact, I'll probably agree with you. I'm just saying in a lot of situations, it's the bitterness root that is like it is blocking the blessing, or it's just like I'll forget everybody know them, or whatever it is, or it's just like that thing you're holding on to, or whatever, it's actually holding you down, right? And they're winning again because they got you to like hold on to that bitterness. If I could just release them, and maybe you just write the letter and burn it, and you don't even have the conversation with them because it's too toxic, and like you can't let them in with the energy. And then it's like if you give a mouse a cookie kind of situation, give them an inch, take a mile. But this is definitely saying like, drop the indecision, say your piece, drop the mic, and just like, you want to stick it to them, like be a really badass person that owns your shit, and like they have nothing they hate more than like kill them with, not just kill them with kindness, but just like kill them with like humility of like, I did that, that's fucked up, I'm sorry, and then like not even expecting anything in return, just like be high vibing, just like and then they have to walk away and be like, damn, and he owns this shit too. Like, I really want them to be a bad person, because then I'll feel less bad about all the bad shit I did to like make them miserable or try to kill them or whatever, whatever it was, and if they did that, they probably don't care. But I'm just saying, like, you really want to give, for like making your ancestors applaud or something like that. That can be a way, but again, 1,000 caveats, not every situation. The road may be difficult, but hesitation causes progress, okay? This might be a blocker for somebody. So there you have it. Maybe it's not. Maybe you did all this, or maybe it's just like, I didn't do anything. Okay, it's okay. Sorry. The card, I didn't use that card. That's the same channel. Step 2 of Cups. Also, it's in the reverse. So you got to align with people that fuel your purpose, and you're like, I could shop around, or you're like, I wanted to try the poly thing, or whatever it is. It's just like, yeah, what's the Billy Squire song? Everybody wants you. I mean, just walk around and enjoy that for a little bit, yeah, but it's sweet dreams, right? Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to use you. I mean, it's just like, you don't, you probably had to break a lot of soul ties and take on a lot of people's like attachment stuff from that or that kind of thing, or just like, I mean, it was a lot, like to find a lot, but like taking on more of that, is, yeah, don't be new money. I mean, it's, focus on somebody who's on your level, and then don't, there's a reason that there's entire swaths of shows and documentaries and programs about the people who just like whatever it is, win the lottery, and then you know, forget all of their financial responsibility and discipline, what have you, or they let the wrong person in the circle, kind of thing. So just you kind of wanted to stay about your grind and just like don't let it change you. Don't let it, remember you came from. You see think of every person, every partnership as someone who's either going to elevate you or challenge you. Right? Don't think of it just like the fantasy. It's like, well, they're going to do everything I want because they want the money. Oh, so it's an imbalanced power dynamic that you seek to benefit from by using other people. That probably is not going to be your karma. Are you sure you want to do that? Align with the people who feel your vision or on your level, have the same purpose, who, divine business bonds, divine soul mates or contracts, or these little conversations, these little agreements, these little things that are like you're creating tacit or implied contracts that you perhaps have to, find some shaman to help you break it later if you don't, if it's the wrong thing or something like that. Probably not, because, email someone on here on YouTube or whatever, or you probably know how, but it's like, you don't want to take on people that are trying to take from you. They can manufacture situations that like, even the coordinator, manufacture situations that are just like, I don't know, money grubbers, man. You think you're going to use a money grubber, and they use you. It's a judo energy, right? You gotta, new levels, new devils kind of thing. I mean, that's just the flow of this card. I'm not saying that this pattern here. So for whoever's forward within the collective, or whatever, this manifests, probably tied up to something related to manifestation, and like, after you get them back, kind of. That's this whole vibe here, mostly. I mean, it's like kind of a before and after, but like you're like near it, right? And I think, it's interesting. I think there's a few of you that are a lot more than that. But so, this is balancing the grind and the glow up. There's a title, right? So you are being tested with karmic lessons around health, wealth, and happiness, wealth, love, and decisions. This is going to be gender just to make it fit, but like, what gets people off of the path, right? Gold girls and glory, gold guys and glory, right? In the church in the 70s, the holy light would come on people, and then they tried to monetize that, and they took it away. House of Prayer, doctrine was elevated, and then they tried to like manipulate and create this entire culture of manipulation, and whatever else, without having any accountability. So a lot of taking and these sort of like mafia mentality, and then that glory was lifted from that, right? And Ananias and Sapphira, glory comes, they get into deception, instructed there, whatever. You hear about pastors right now, like hard text and stuff on there, whatever. Sometimes, and this isn't an elevated hour of like supernatural, what have you, manifestation or something like that. Like with this, unexpected resource came unexpected accountability. There's a Bible verse, it's like scripture. It's if you're not faithful in like the small things, like how can I entrust you with the resources of heaven? You're not Zephaniah is faithful in the day of small beginnings. So another way of saying it. If you're faithful in small things, you'll be faithful in big and large things. So what are you doing with the money you have now? Like, well, no, I'll be disciplined and faithful, and I'll pay off these things, and I'll do this and that. Once I get the bag, and then it's like your ancestors heard that and saw that and don't love that, and so it's just kind of like, can you get into debt counseling, or can you, how can you clear all of your financial debt or whatever it is, maybe you had to take courses and college things or whatever it is. And I'm not saying it's paying off your student loans or whatever, like that kind of thing. I'm just saying it would hurt. But no more than that. I mean, I think it's just more just like financial wisdom, right? Getting in your place, in a place of, and I'm not saying to be cheap or splurge or don't get the Starbucks or whatever it is, but intentionality and feeling good about the way that your relationship with money and your understanding of it, and maybe watching some YouTube videos and growing in that, and taking that, getting a budget together, spending intentionally. All of these things make you you're not just manifesting something that is a fantasy that you're bringing to reality, right? Because there are a lot of people who just like give up on the stuff, and they were so close, but it was just like it's one thing here, one thing there, whatever. That not that like kept it from happening, because sometimes you're calling in a karmic debt is coming to you regardless. But like, how would you like to like use it with excellence? How would you like to use it in a way that like is it going to actually just like take on bad karma, or hinder the real power of the manifestation and the power of the universe behind you? That's like saying, meant to like a divine purpose or whatever it is. You don't want to let something get in the way of that because there's shadow work that you needed to do, that I may have outlined here, or maybe you're just being affirmed. Another way to take all this stuff is like everything I've said as a negative, or you need to do this, or maybe you haven't done this, or have you level it. Just take it as just like pat yourself on the back and be like, oh, I did that, and that's a good thing. I'm positioning myself for that. Or I did that too. I'm positioning myself for this too. Like, wow, Spirit, like you've really put some things in my path and like set me up for success here. And I just did it because of this reason, but actually it's going to help me be a clear conduit or vessel for my own purposes and whatever it is. And there, a lot of times, yeah, you got to have that. There's a certain mentality that attracts that kind of stuff or whatever. You aren't the gold digger. You are the legacy maker. You are the it's not just about hustling because out of just greed, right? But it's like that mentality of you're a creator, right? You're starseed, earth angel, chosen one. You want to manifest love. You want to bring love and wisdom, and finances are a way to bring that into people's lives. You're a healer. You want to facilitate more healers, and align with. You have all it's accomplishing your goals that are not just like a bucket list, accomplishing whatever, but like actually being able to leave this place better than it started or whatever. Not that we'll ever really leave it, because heaven comes to earth at a certain point. But like, whether you come into the next life or whatever it is, the return. Like, some of you may not be able to take this one, but like, what's that verse? 11, 17-ish, something like that. If you're faithful in small things, I'll make you ruler over many cities, right? And that extends into like, eventually, planets and the cosmos. I mean, when you bring the whole realm under divine order, there are literal assignments that are just like, it's like, what about the ADHD guys? Because like, I feel like this whole like, all these scripts are really aligned to a certain type A personality that's really good with like money, all these kind of things, and it's like, it's relative to your ability, to your heart, to what you had to work with, I mean, some of the highest people have been like homeless a lot of their lives, but like, man, do they walk in a lot of love, like they had like they had one blanket and they like gave it to that dude because like he needed more, these kind of things. Like, what is the real question behind all of this is, did you learn how to love, that sacrificial stuff? And not that you're just sacrificing just for the sake of sacrifice. You might be very comfortable, you might live in luxury, but you are you're helping create massive change. Much is given, much is required. Like, I don't think you can manifest your way out of that. I don't think you can manifest your way out of just like karma. But that would be cool. I mean, teach me how, I guess. But I think it's if you're part of this collective where you're already burdened with like, how am I really want to help these people? Right? Like, you already just like you already have the empathic stuff. Like, how could you not? And you're just like, oh yeah, kind of, I mean, yeah. And if you're, I don't know, a man, or like you identify with that gender or that spirit of that masculine quality or whatever it is, and you're already realizing that like, yeah, but I want this queen or whatever, and like if you're in America, they probably only will talk to you if you're aligned a certain way, and like your ancestors are like, yeah, I'm gonna give you that just so that like she'll text you back or whatever it is. So no one likes being left unread, but so it's just, somebody has to chase. If we're both as attracting, we're just gonna sit there. We're never gonna get it together. Just like to your ancestors, like give you dreams and like make you talk. I don't know. Anyway, it is very late here, so it's probably like 2 in the morning. So hopefully that made some sense, but more to come. If you like that, want to see more on the subject, I obviously have plenty to say. I don't know what that was, but that's the confirmation that it's time to go. So, all right, thank you much, and please like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks.